Hey guys, D Williams here. Today we are live in my setup class, my weekly setup class. Y'all know that every week I work with staffingpreneurs who are interested in and who are starting their niche recruitment and staffing business. And I have a coaching program, and they show up every week to hear me. I don't know why they show up every week. They show up every week to just to get guidance and an understanding of what they should do and where they should be around setting up their staffing agency and doing it in a way that's compliant, and not just kind of half-assing the process, right? Because a lot of times, we get really excited about our ideas and we go out there and we start doing things, but don't really have a real direction, right? Or a real strategy behind what we're doing. We just pulling all of this information in and just trying to put things together. But there's always a system and a process to everything that takes place. And my goal is to make sure that people are able to unleash their ideas, to do them in a way that will help them to put things together like systematically, right? And to even also to be able to think systematically so that it makes sense how they're growing their business, how they're connecting the dots and all the pieces to their business model. So that's what we talk about in this class today. Now, my classes are rolling classes, meaning people are in and out at different times. So sometimes my classes are really large, sometimes they're really small. The last month or so, they've been very small because people are moving in, coming in, and going, and so forth. And so that's perfect timing, because we are in a space where we are re-recording the academy. But not only are we re-recording the academy, but we're also moving the academy to a different platform. There are a lot of things that are happening. And everyone who is already a current academy member is already there, right? For there are other people who are coming in who want to be a part of the recording, maybe not be a part of the full academy, but just want to be a part of the recording. I'm going to put the link in the description. You can do that as well. I do have a couple of announcements before we dive in. First, I want everybody to please greet yourself. Who online. Who are you? Where are you chiming in from? What's your niche? In my class, when you come into a room, you say hello. How you doing? How you feeling? So make sure you all greet each other. And I'm saying good morning to each and every one of you as well. So thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it, taking time out of your day. Okay, so few things. Okay, so announcements. Thanks, Carmen. Announcements. So I don't know if y'all know, but the academy was down this weekend for maintenance. We are actually moving the physical academy to a new platform, as well as the recording to that. We're re-recording, and we had that scheduled for this week, but we are not ready. I'm not going to lie to you. And we have to move that date out. We have to move it out at least a week. And that really just happened yesterday. And so we are moving the date, and I'm going to, oh, snap. I think I just unplugged something. Um, we're going to move the date out, and I'll let y'all know what the date is going to be. I think it's going to be the following week, but I'm touching base with all the people who have purchased to be able to be a part of the academy who are not academy members. And I'm going to make sure that the date resonates with their schedules collectively before we schedule the next one. But it will be within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I just want to make sure that's very clear. So we're going to a new platform, and we are going to have a whole brand new academy. I am extremely phenomenally excited. I'm so fired up. I have not been sleeping. I have been literally putting things together, planning. I'm working on the calculator right now. We're going to get an updated calculator with the AI business model in there as well. That is so fiery, exciting as well. I'm just super fired. Carmen said yes. I'm super excited about that. And I'm really excited about direction. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Aisha. The direction. Good morning, Kelly. The direction that everything is going into, right? And I'm talking. But first, I was really scared. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was having panic attacks about AI and the end of the world and all types of stuff, because it just seemed a little overwhelming. Things are moving way so fast. You know what I'm saying? But now I don't feel that way at all. In 2 years here in LA, they're going to be having the Olympics. They're planning for that. The world is not going to stop going, even if those things do happen. And I know it's a lot happening right now in the world, but while these things are happening, the world is still moving. So that means you and I have to continue to move until it directly affects us or the people around us or that matters to us the most or what we care about the most. I don't want to sound crazy, but I think y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like, you still got to go to work. You still got to make money. You still got to feed your family. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So yeah, exactly. So it's not that we don't care about everybody, but you still have to take care of you. So this class, this, everything we do here is about that. It's about taking care of you. It's about you being in a space where you can take your ideas and turn them into something that is actually going to be functional and that is going to be compliant and is going to do the things it's supposed to do. So now I want to open up the floor because I want to make sure last time somebody says like, D, you took all our time. I didn't mean to do that. So I want to open up the floor first before I get into my thing. And just, does anybody have any questions about where they are in their business and, and what, how I can support, even if it's just like words of encouragement, let me know. Cause I get fired up on this mic, right? But like, where are you at in your business and how can I support you to ensure that you're moving to the next step? Because you should have a lot of different things happening at one time right now. You should be working on your business in three different ways, potentially, depending on where you are in your business model. You should be working on your business in regards to operations, operationally looking at your business as an entrepreneur. That's very important. You should be working on your business from the perspective of candidates and working in your business and let me go back, working on your business in regards to operations, but also working on your business in regards to the talent that you're going to bring into your company that's going to help you bring your business to life. And I don't care if you're like, well, D, I'm not going to hire a lot of people, I'm going to use AI, but you're still going to need to hire people. You're not going to be, I don't believe you're going to do this on your own. Not if you have a goal, a financial goal of like, not if you have like a financial goal of like, 5 million, 10 million, 100 million. Some of you come to me and you say, I want in 10 years, I want to have $100 million staffing agency, which is very doable. There are staffing agencies out there right now that have been open for 10 years and they're at $1 billion, right? So depending on how your strategies are aligned, those things can definitely happen. The idea is to have the goal, right? And how do you get to that goal? And getting to that goal is about you right now putting things into place in the way that it's absolutely supposed to be. So I want to answer questions. I keep trying to take myself back, y'all, so I don't take y'all time. I want to answer questions and make sure that you all are going in the right direction. Does anybody have any questions? And that can be online too. If you got questions live. It's good to see you, Kelly. It's good to see you, Aisha. It's good to see you, Judy. Was that you texting me, Judy? I feel like that was you texting me, but you didn't text me on my personal phone. You texted me on my work phone, so I wasn't sure if that was really you or not. I wasn't sure. Carmen, Catherine, do y'all have any questions? Hey, Adrian, how are you? Adrian, how you feeling? What's going on in your world? Girl. I know. Like, how you feeling though? Carmen,
question, Dave.
Okay, tell me. Yes, I'm here. That's what I want to know.
Basically, I have my website, but I'm kind of hesitant on making it live because I'm not really ready to start the business. So I don't know, should I hold off on making it live? Because once I make it live, that means it's like go, right?
That's an excellent question. Make the website live. First of all, nobody knows your website. You haven't given it out. You're not marketing it. People aren't. I mean, unless they just randomly find you, like nobody really knows who you are. You haven't done anything to market yourself. That's number one. So that's the second reason, I would say, not the first reason. The first reason is when you get your applicant tracking system, they're going to want to see your website up. They want to know that you're a real company. So you need to have your website up. You need to have your brand established. And it's not even just having a website up. They want to see that you have an established brand, that you're an established company. Now, if you're going through Crelate, then, of course, they are associated, they're a partner of ours and have been for many years. So if you say you're with D. Williams, then potentially that, they may say, okay, we'll give you access, but not full access until your brand is developed. because we develop a lot of our clients' brands and they know that. But if you're doing it on your own, your brand should be fully up and compliant. They're going to be looking for policies on your website, just like they're going to be looking for you to have a full completed brand. So you want to do that, and not just for your applicant tracking system company, but also your insurance company. You know, a lot of places are going to just double check, because think about it, you're about to be taking over people's payroll. That's why I keep saying to y'all, it's a big deal. You're about to be taking over one of the most important parts of their business. It's their payroll. You see what I'm saying? So it's not something that you just like, that people just going to randomly give you things. So you have to show up as your true self. And that's why, we I want you to go ahead, make it live. If it's done, make it live. And let's start focusing on moving to whatever the next step is in the process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I love that. Any other questions? I want to put those questions out there. Adrian, you say you trying to make this happen. What's going on? Kathy?
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I definitely hear you. How you feeling this morning?
Calling yourself?
I'm phenomenal. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you so much for your energy. I mean, I've been following you for probably 10 to 12 years. Just like I said, when I first became aware of your business and what you were trying to, just your business model, I was always interested because, like I said, I'm the product of temporary agency. Started as a temp, then became a permanent. So I always kind of just always had an interest in the business just by virtue of being one of those employees, and just trying to get my feet wet into the business. And I just love your energy and just really just trying to lay the foundation. So that's why I'm on this morning.
Yes.
I mean, I'm still working a regular job. I know eventually I'll have to give that up. But for right now, until I get something started, I'm going to, continue to work. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, I got to ask, so what part of the setup are you in? Where are you at in the set? How far are you from launching?
Well, right now, I don't want to say how far I am. I mean, because I don't know what that looks like. I started taking the courses. But like I said, my main thing is I just really need to know what the setup is. And that's why I joined today, because I really wanted to know, okay, what do I need in order to set up? I know there's a series of things. They shouldn't all happen at once. I'm quite sure of that. But I just wanted to know, what couple of things that I could start all simultaneously.
Okay. So have you gotten to the point in the course where you're looking at the checklist?
No.
Okay, so that's why you haven't watched enough of the course. Because there's a checklist that goes through everything, but I don't give you that checklist until you have understanding of where you're going first, right? So everything that I do is very systematically. I'm not just going to throw tasks at you and then you're not going to understand necessarily how to put those tasks together. So that checklist comes in after you've understood, okay, what's my niche? What's my market? How am I going through my market? Everybody wants to skip that, but that is the most important part. That is the most important part, because otherwise the rest of the business, you're going to be lost. And I got to tell you something. Don't think I'm fussing. I'm not fussing. Okay. But I just want to tell you, because I see this quite often with people, because I just posted a video yesterday and I was talking about how some people never really get to the point of executing. And, I see very often that, people they come in and you starting this business and you're like putting things, just throwing things together, trying to step 1, step 2, step 3, okay, and then it's done, which is great. But what we miss out on is the research, and the research that people is typically doing, or the research that people are typically doing is not the research that's needed for the business to function and to move forward and to do the things that it needs to do. And so when we start off in the academy, the first thing we start off with is research. And any professional that you go to, anywhere you're going to go to, they're going to start off with the research. Who are you? What are we looking for? Just the market. Who's your market? What do they want? And you cannot assume that you know your market because you've been in your market, because there are statistics out there that you've never seen or heard. You don't know what other issues are going on outside of what's in your environment, your preferential view. So you have to do the research to understand where you are first. Once you get through the research, then that's when you start the setup portion. That's when you go into the 100 course. The 100. Now, before I even get into the 100 course, the research is also very important because it tells you literally, it answers all the questions that you have in your course. How do I get the client? Where do I get the client? What does the client, what do I need to say to get the client? How do I start the conversation? All of that is in the research, and everybody wants to skip that part. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
I got it. Thank you. No, that makes so much sense. And I think I needed to hear that because like I said, you have this business idea and you just want to kind of focus
Yes.
when there's a process. And I think you've done an excellent job just laying it really all out. It's just a matter of me taking the time, the due diligence, and
Yeah, you got to watch the video.
Take the steps necessary to make this happen for myself.
And I'm gonna tell you something, and that's what we're gonna go through in the new academy as well. Like the research back in the day, it took us a long time. Like back in the day, it was like people were paying us to do the research. I had a full team on the back end doing research for everyone. But now you can just upload it into AI, and AI can spit it back out. If you do deep research in 5 minutes. Right. And now you're moving forward. It doesn't have to be a 2-week process any longer. It's only as long as what you make it to be. Right. So we're in a very different space, and technology is growing very quickly. So in the new academy, I'm going to show you how to use AI to set up your business faster. Okay. Now, I also have to say this too. This is not to you, Adrian. It's to everybody. I was talking to one of my clients this morning, y'all. And I'm going to get to all the comments because I got more comments. But I was talking to one of my clients this morning, and he's like, yeah, D, I'm using AI to help me set up the staffing agents. I said, well, what did you pay me for? What did you come here for? And he didn't answer. And I said, I got to tell you something. When I talk to AI about staffing, I'm constantly correcting it. It doesn't know. It only knows what has been fed, the books, but it doesn't have real life experience other than maybe what's been read on the internet. Like it doesn't know. I'm constantly correcting it. No, that's not right. It's da 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 da. He's like, you're right, D. I'm sorry, you're right. I overstepped that, or oh, I missed that one. I'm like, this guy doesn't even know what the heck he's doing. So if someone is basing that business model off of that, you're gonna be you're gonna be hurting. I'm gonna tell you right now. AI is a tool that you use to work with it, right? And I mean, yes, it can guide you in some directions. But when I say daily, I'm correcting it and it's apologizing to me. So I'm teaching it. And I'm sure all the other, professionals out there are doing the same thing. So just make sure you understand that as well. Use it as a tool, right? To help you expand your thought process. To give you some knowledge, but in whatever you do right now, everything is going to be so crazy because everything is going to be AI, and you're not going to know what's real. You got to start dealing with real people in real life, and I'm just going to mention this. I mention this to my students all the time. Shout out to my AI automation students. I know y'all watch it. Getting y'all apps off the ground, y'all AI apps off the ground. AI is not God. It does not know everything. ASI has not made it here yet. It is really a knowledge tool. Think of it as a library at your fingertips. Even the library doesn't know everything because it doesn't have experience. It doesn't create experience. The experience the library has is the experiences that we put into it. And that's the same thing for AI. So you have to very much so keep that in mind. Okay, so that's what I want to say. Now, next thing. Good morning, Les. The next thing is after we go through and we're just talking through setting up your business. After the research, that's our 0-100 course. After the research, we get into setting up the business. Now, setting up the business, people think automatically it's let me go legalize the business. Let me go. Kelly said me. I'm one of those people. Let me put this up there so I can see she's talking to me. Let me legalize a business. Let me put the website up, and then the company is up, right? And that's not necessarily how it works, right? There are different layers to the business, and I'm gonna just share my screen because I break the layers down in the way that it should be set up. And most people, I guess I feel like I think people want a business, but they don't want to work for it. I feel like they want a business, but they don't want to do the hard work. They want it to be just like done instantaneously. And it just doesn't work that way. I wish, oh my gosh, if it worked that way, do y'all know D. Williams would be a force to be reckoned with? Okay. Like you wouldn't even know what to do with me if it worked like that. Because I mean that's too easy. But because one task, I can put 5 things on my list to do today, and one task could take me 8 hours, right? Even if I outsource it to someone else, it still is going to take 8 hours for it to be done, right? Whether I'm doing it or whether someone else is doing it, things take time, especially if you want something of quality. To have a baby, it's 9 months. The ladies, you got to cook a baby for 9 months to get the baby to come out healthy. You understand what I'm saying? A plant doesn't grow overnight. But yet we think that relationships are supposed to happen immediately. Sales are supposed to happen immediately. Businesses are supposed to have an idea and spring, it's up, and it's like, come on, let's come on with this thing right now. Like, come on, y'all, come on. So if we want anything of quality, you already know that it takes a little bit of time. Diamonds, it takes time for diamonds to be created, right? And so with that being said, you've got to be patient with yourself and your business. If you're working a day job, and you don't have a network, you should be at home every afternoon, spending hours upon every waking hour that you have on your business to get it off the ground. And I feel like a lot of people aren't really working on their business to get it off the ground. They work on it a couple of hours a week, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm done, right? But it doesn't really work that way. You got to work on it every day, and you got to get a full understanding. You got to get a full understanding. Catherine said, I have a question because I'm gonna share my screen in a second. She says she has a noisy background. I have the staffing company set up, but I want to add training certification classes. So should this be under a nonprofit or under the staffing company? That's a great question. I mean, it could be under both, but if you're going to have to make that decision, to be honest with you. For me, I would put it as a line of business under the staffing agency, because if you really, for me, but if you have other ideas on how you want to utilize it, then sure, it can be under a nonprofit, but I'm not sure that the companies that you're trying to do business with are going to want to go over to the nonprofit, right? You're selling training and certifications as a service. You want to bring your brand to life. You want people to know that your company is the company to go to. You want to get more clients. You want to get more candidates, all of those things. I feel like it should be up under your brand. And it should be a line of business, just like whatever your contract staffing is, or your travel nurse staffing, or whatever the case may be for that. I hope that makes sense, Catherine. But you've got to make that decision at the end of the day. It's only you know how you want this thing to go, and what your ideas are around, around where you want it to be. And that's the most important part. As an entrepreneur, you want to be thinking ahead, right? And then you want to reverse engineer backwards. And it sounds like you have to some degree, because the first thing you said is, I want to offer certifications. So at least you want to offer certifications, but I want you to think around that. What goes beyond those certifications? How can you offer training in more than one way too? Because you might be thinking of training only in one way, but training is a two-way avenue, revenue generating avenue. It's a revenue generating avenue for the client, from a client perspective, and also from a candidate perspective. And they'll both pay for training, right? And I tell people all the time, like, once you get your agency up, the first thing in my mind that I would be doing as I am attempting to get clients is start my training program, start getting my training program together, or at least ramping up to that training program. I'm telling y'all, I think in systems, right? I'm thinking of like, how do I build a relationship with someone? That's how I think when I think of sales and when I think of recruiting. It is about the process of building a relationship. And you've got to really get your mindset around that, because everything you do digitally is about like that process. Everything you do physically is about that process. How do I build a relationship with a candidate to the point where they want to work with me and me only, or they want to work with me and they'll be loyal to me to some degree? Maybe not to some degree, to a large degree, so much that they will refer other clients to me or refer other candidates to me. I told you I've got clients right now that didn't make sales calls at least for 2 or 3 years because their candidates fueled their entire business. Okay, I'll be here, Kelly. Fueled their entire business. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, you know, how do you build a relationship? People do business with people they like and know and trust. People do business with people they like and know and trust. That's what they do. If they like them, they're like, I'm gonna do business with them. I like them. If they know them, somebody know them. Oh, okay, I can trust them. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That's really how it goes. So it's like, what are you doing in your business to create that? And so when you're setting up your staffing business, you should be thinking along those lines, especially when you're thinking about my candidates and my clients. Right? Because the next question you're going to be asking is, how do I get to the candidates? How do I get to the clients? How do I do all of those things? And those things happen, you know, with the strategies that you're creating. So I wanted to answer that question. Company setup, she said, thank you. You're welcome. Certification. I love it. What else are you doing with it? That's the stuff that I want to leave in your minds. And I want you to really expand your thought process around what training can do for your business. Because this is where the future is going to be, at least through the transition up and through post-labor economics, right? That's what they're calling it now. After AI pretty much takes jobs or what have you, there's going to be a shift. Jobs are going to go away. Jobs are going to be created. Okay? Period. That's what's going to happen. Right now, the jobs that are being created are all AI driven. They're all AI driven. Even in the healthcare space, they are AI driven. They're telehealth driven. It's tech driven. That's why I keep telling y'all really, staffing agencies are going to kind of become tech firms, whether they want to or not. They're going to have to transition into that, or they're going to miss the ball, because, you know, just placing a human is never going to be enough. Not any longer. What you're going to have to go beyond that. You're going to have to place humans. You're going to have to place some type of AI. And in the future, I believe the robots will be on the roster as well. But right now, your goal should be learn the business, get the foundation of the business, learn the business and how it works right now, figure out where you can integrate AI, integrate it into your business model, get training going with that, right? Like, get training going with that, like, and then go out there and go ham. You know what I'm saying? And then use your technology. You don't even have to build your technology fully out. You just got to build it out enough to be able to demo it, and then use that technology as a sales pitch. Use the fact that you're doing something different. You know what I'm saying? That you offer these things. Name your process. Name what you do different. When you all go through my academy, I show you how to go in and create your secret sauce, right? How to go in and create what sets you apart, and utilize that. That technology should be something that's setting you apart from everyone else, because right now everybody else isn't offering technology. They don't even understand it, much less, you know. So just, you know, that's very important. Carmen says, what type of training should we offer? I don't know. That's going to be, you've got to decide that based on, you know, your niche and where you're trying to go. Like, what's your theme? Like, what are you focusing on the most? Like, what's your theme? You know, if your theme is, you know, nurse burnout, then maybe your training is on nurse burnout or something that has to do with that. How to prevent nurse burnout for executives, or what, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think it's going to depend on your theme and your relationship with your niche market. When you went through your niche overview worksheet and you did the research around your market and what's important to them, what came up? Because that's the answer to your questions, which leads us back to Adrian's original question, or how you lead us back to Adrian, which is, you got to start off with the research. Now we know why we got to start off with the research. Because even the questions that are being asked, it starts off with the research. What did you put on your niche overview worksheet that was most important to them? What did you find that was most important to them? One of my clients last week, maybe last week before last, she was like, I can't find candidates. I'm like, well, where did all the research you did on your niche overview worksheet, where were you? Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. This is why you start. This is your guiding post, y'all. The research is your guiding post. You can't build a business without having research, because then you can't expand your thought process. You can't create ideas in order to, it's not going to be enough for you to just pick up the phone and sell staffing. You can do that. And you will do that. And your team will do that as well. But what happens is you've got two types of people who want to talk to you and people who don't. So what conversation are you going to have with the people who don't want to talk to you? You still going to call them and talk to them about staffing? No. You're going to talk to them about something else that's important to them. What else is important to them? I don't know. You researched it. It's on your niche overview worksheet. That's where we did all the research in the 0-100 course. So we can prepare for the 100, 200, 300, so we can prepare to build a business out. That makes building the business out so much easier when you've done the research. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Larry said, hey, Larry, I miss you, Larry. I miss you so much, Larry. Larry says, hi, D. One thing I've noticed is AI will not replace our jobs. People using AI will take your jobs. So you're right. Implementing AI into your current business model will now definitely help drive to the future. That is 1,000,000% correct. And I've been preaching that. I've been saying that if you have AI, if you're going to either have to know how to use it or you're going to have to offer it. And that's how you will live in the new world. Okay. And that's it. And I didn't make the new world up. That ain't my, this is what the tech giants who are building the AI is saying. They're doing their media runs saying that people are going to lose their job. And if they are not skilled, if they don't know AI or understand how to use AI or are not becoming an entrepreneur and offering AI, you're going to be living on universal basic income, barely making it. That's how I took it. They may not have said that directly, but I'm paraphrasing. That's essentially what they're saying. And that it's not going to happen gradually. It's going to happen overnight. And it's going to be a major shocker to society. And they're even predicting it may take 10 years or 15 years for everything to get back to its normal state, quote unquote. So I just ask my staffingpreneurs, my people, my friends, my followers, my family, like, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? You should be into some type of AI training, just understanding it. I think more importantly, understanding how to use AI. When I say understand how to use it, not just how to use the platform. I did a training on how to use the platform. I'm talking about how to think with AI, how to direct AI, how to teach AI, how to do the things that you want and need it to do. And it's kind of a double-edged sword because you're teaching AI, we're making it smarter. But at the same time, you are becoming more efficient and you're allowing your processes and the people that you're supporting's processes to become more efficient, right? So it you got to do what you got to do. So this is very important. All right, this is very important. You got to understand how to use it. You got to know how to think with it. I want you to learn how to think with AI. Don't just put in the chat, how do I use AI? Don't just put that in the chat GPT. Don't put in there, how do I use AI for my business? That is such a broad question. It's crazy. He's going to take you down Lululand, right? You have to do the research first on the business so that you can understand what you're working with, so that you can start generating your own thought process as a base. This is my goal. This is what I'm looking to accomplish. I have 2 clients and an internal staff. And I'm trying to figure out, one, do I want to use AI for business, like to run my business? Do I want to use AI to, sell, right? As a service, AI as a service. And that's the first thing. And most people are going to say, I want to do both. And I would say you absolutely do. But the one I would go for first is to selling it in the business, because that part of society is moving very quickly. And if you're going to be working on something a lot. It should be on what's going to make you money, and people will pay you to fix it and make it work right specifically for them, versus you building it for yourself and not generating any income off of it. Even though you might be getting a little bit, you might have something that makes things a lot faster. You might have to just pay someone who's already created that for you to help you in your business. It can still be AI generated, but that doesn't have to be what you create. What you create is what you're going to sell. That's my personal opinion. You're already going to use AI. You're going to use Chat. You're going to use Claude. You're going to use Grok. You're going to use Perplexity, Pi. We're going to use all of them. Gemini, right? But how we use them is going to be a little bit differently. If we need to automate different parts of the business right now, we'll just invest to pay another platform who already has developed that, instead of trying to create that on our own. Utilize that to help move us forward, but at the same time building out our AI platform, or figuring out how our AI is going to be integrated into our clients' work life and our candidates' work life. You know what I'm saying? Our candidates' life. So like that's where you want to be, where you need to be, where you want to be. That is very, very, very important. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? I love that feedback, Larry. That is very, very, very true. Very, very, very true. You got to know AI. You got to, okay. So, all right. So let's, why, Carmen? Tell me why. That's an interesting feeling when you're setting up a business. Like, tell me why.
I think my biggest thing is just all this AI stuff is like, I'm not totally on board with. I mean, I use it all the time, but to actually create something is out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah. And when you say actually create something, meaning like a product, or actually know how to think with it to be able to do anything, I guess. So what part are you speaking about?
No, I think I do find, like, when I use AI, because I will try, ask them to correct, what I'm asking, and the things that you were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like, when we were talking about like setting up something for the business, like a service to sell, or want to use AI and sell something in the business,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just don't have enough information in my own mind to figure out what that would be, I guess.
Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share a couple of things with you that I think will be helpful for you and everyone else. I've been trying to share my screen this entire time, but I haven't been successful. Okay, so first of all, when you get into the 100 course, you have your checklist. The checklist is there. It's set up in so many different ways. I'm actually going to end up doing a whole nother checklist, because I've recreated this checklist in so many different versions for people who need to see it differently. Okay. But this is the checklist that I use, and it's broken down into sections: organizational design, infrastructure, external roles and responsibilities, documentation and onboarding, legality and insurances, branding and marketing, calendar management, candidate sourcing and talent attraction, lead generation, sales and business development, technology, financials and financial reporting, training and professional development, programs, audits, and compliance review. So these are all the steps that need to be taken to like have your business set up appropriately. And this is the checklist that I go through, and it's a pretty long checklist. Okay. And this is where you want to get into once you get into the 100 course and you understand your market. Why do I say that? Because a lot of people miss certain things. Like, if you don't want to start the checklist until you know your market, because your mission should be built around your market. Your vision should be built around your market. Your goals should be around your market. Your maybe your tagline, where your business is located, like all of those things are around your market. If you haven't done research to really understand your market, don't assume, but really understand your market and see it from a full, 360-degree view. Like, you've got to do some research to make sure that you know exactly what's going on. And then you'll realize, oh, I really want my business name to be this, or I really think our tagline should be that, because that resonates with them. You know what I'm saying? Or this is going to be my goal, because I can see that's a pattern, that's an ongoing pattern that's been happening over and over and over and over again. So I want to focus on that pattern so I can be the person that they come to. You know, so you're having that thought process. So the checklist is very important. Now I want to go back. I wanted to do that for Adrienne, because we were talking about that earlier, and I want to make sure that she knows that the checklist is here. And this checklist, like I said, it gets very intense, but it's broken down into every section. And it's actually, I'm going to add some additional things to the new checklist for the Academy, because again, we have this AI piece. So a lot of those things, you can do them a lot quicker. I would just say that. The second thing that I wanted to say, because Carmen, you made up you said some really interesting things, and you said, D, you know, I kind of know how to use it, but like, you know, but using it for how to build a product or something like that, I'm not really sure, like, how do I go about that? And I did a video on this. I did a live training on this very topic, actually. And I want to take you to it, because I want you to go in there, because I talk about it all the time. Actually, the last couple of videos I've been talking about it, but we get into AI basics. I want you to watch these part 1, part 2, part 3. I went through a whole live series with people over the course of a couple of days, and we really sat down and worked through that and talked through how to think that through. And that's really going to be a lot of the conversation that I'm having right now with everyone, right? Because now most people understand how to go into ChatGPT and to ask a general question, but they don't understand how to think for AI or use AI as a tool to think. So you definitely can have products and services, and you can have AI to do that for you. Now, one of the videos that I really wanted to talk about is, one of them is where we are building an agent, right? And I think it's this one right here. I can't believe I made these 3 agents right here. I'm going to give you the link, but we built agents. You need an agent, because the agent will help you do everything. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now in real time, but I'm going to share this chat with you right here. Okay. And I'm going to share it with everybody. No, it wasn't you. See, somebody said it was you, Judy. That makes me nervous. Somebody's posing as my good friend. I don't like that. I said, is this Judy Ross? They said, yes. So they are posing as you. Don't do that. So that video right there, it will show you how to create an agent. But let me just show you how my agent works for me. And I utilize my agents in a lot of ways. I have so many agents, I can't even see them all on my left screen. It's pretty annoying, actually. I really feel like they should increase it. But I use all AI, so I don't just use one. But I would say that chat is probably my main one, because chat has a memory. It knows you. It's almost like an assistant, which is scary, but it really knows you, and it starts to understand you. And so that's typically my home base. And then I utilize everything else on top of that. And I suggest that you use it the same way if you're going to use AI in business. I don't use AI for anything personal. And I'm going to say that again. Anything that's personal, I don't really use AI for, unless I'm going to turn it into a business. If I'm going to turn it into a business, then I might do something personal. For example, I am an Aquarius. I'm a proud Aquarius. I'm a core Aquarius, right? And I love anything Aquarius related. And so I asked AI, okay, I'm an Aquarius. What am I supposed to do in the world? How am I supposed to impact the world? Like, that's personal. I could have did that under my personal account, but I do it under my business account, because I know whatever he tell me or whatever we decide on, I'm probably going to make a business out of it, right? So I want to be able to add it to one of my different agents to inspire the idea. Now, this isn't staffing per se, but I was just giving you an idea of personal. So now let me give you an idea of professional, right? Let's go back to professional. So I don't know what I want to share here, because I got so many different things going on. I have an idea generator. Okay. My idea generator helps me just build ideas out. And I got to tell you, I am full of ideas. I can't stop. I want to, I really do. And I don't want to talk about them, but I can't help it. It just happens. And when I talk to people, I see them. I see them very clearly. My brain immediately fires off. I've now learned how to control it most of the time, but it's a problem. I have an addiction to ideas. So having an idea generator, somebody who can help me take my brink of an idea and turn it into something greater, is so orgasmic for me. Okay. and so this is one of my agents. And so I have 4 different what do you call them, statement starters, conversation starters that I can do with my agents. I typically am submitting a transcript or a video or a picture or something like that. Like I might see something on the street, or I might see a sign, and I take a picture. I'm like, oh, listen, I want to talk about this. Or I talk to somebody, or I watched a YouTube video and something sparked off in my head. I'm like, oh, I got to go ahead and right. So you might see that in your business. You know, you might see something like, oh, that would be cool for my staffing business. So you use your idea generator. How would my competitor outmaneuver me? Like if I wanted to create this idea, who else is doing it, and how could they outmaneuver me if I want to implement that? What's the underlying problem that I'm truly trying to solve? Like, I don't even want to start a business unless I'm trying to solve a problem. I'm not good at creating businesses for entertainment. I'm a humanitarian. So it's to solve problems, you know, and I'm a solutions oriented person. So I like to solve, and people pay for problems. They pay for entertainment too, but they pay more for problems. Don't nobody want a headache. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want a headache. Don't nobody want to hurt. You understand what I'm saying? You can not have entertainment, but nobody wants to hurt. They'll pay to relieve that pain. So I focus my time and energy there. And then I asked about counterintuitive insight, because I actually need somebody to think against me and to make me mad, kind of. Like I need it's like all my agents are built for critical thinking and to push back on me. Because my idea is why I am brilliant. I need to see all the angles of my idea. So I need, like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing redundantly? What is dumb about this idea? Why won't this idea work? But I created an agent to help me do that. So this is a bill that I pay happily every month. It's so if they shut it down or whatever, I'll be one of the people going through withdrawal, although I don't want the world to end or anything like that, but I really do enjoy my business relationship with AI. I have become a master at directing it. Okay. And so that's that. Now let me show you the agent on the back end. So on the back end, I'm going to edit. It's called a GPT. And on the back end, I just told it what I wanted. I created a prompt and just told it what I wanted it to do and how I wanted it to be. And then I did extra configuration. So I can go in and change my conversation starters and how it helps me to get started. I don't have image generation, which I'm going to add, or code and data interpretation, which I'll add it, but I don't really need it for this, because really I don't stay here in this particular idea generator. It's always my starting point. I can't lie to you. I use all of my agents in different ways. And it's very strategic because I'm trying to accomplish something specific. Of course, this is recorded, Adrian. I would never leave you out like that. So while I might start my idea out here, whatever my idea is, if it's AI related and the software, then it goes into maybe a software agent. If before I put it in there, I have prompt agents. So agents that help me write prompts better so I can get the best out of it. My favorite one is the product architect and monetization. Once I got my idea, pretty much I'm going to start architecting that idea out, that product, how much I'm going to charge for it, how much does it cost for me to build it, you know, all of those different things. That's when I get really excited. Okay. But then, you know, so all of those things. Now, so those are all things you can do. I'm a tech girl, so my ideas always pretty much end up in technology or in some type of digital product. Whereas if I also have a co-pilot, so this is my co-pilot because I am all about self-love. It's called Dee Dee. Okay. So she's my business co-pilot, and she basically helps me to manage my clients on a daily basis as well as my ideas, right? So if I do want her to help me figure out a something specific, then then I'll program her in there. But I really use her more for my clients. So if I get a brand new client and we record the conversation, I put it in there to help me figure out how I want to engage with the client, or to help me write my welcome letter, or something like that. So I'll use it like that, in that way. But even this, paste the transcript so I can create a sales. Let's go and look and see what I got in there. Let's go to edit the GPT and see what my conversation starters are. Now I'm giving you all my secrets. You better not take my secrets. Don't share them either. Paste this. So conversation starter, paste the transcript so I can create a recap of the meeting with the to-do items. So my one-on-one clients, people pay me a lot of money to get my blueprints, right? And to help them move really quickly in their business. I'm on my way to Oregon this week. Someone's flying me out to help speed up the process of building out their business. So every time I meet with them online or have a meeting, I want to do a recap, put it in their folder so they can understand exactly what it is that we need to do. And that way, that's not something I have to do. That was something my assistant used to do. Now my assistant doesn't have to do that. AI does it for me. All I got to do is copy and paste it, read over it, make sure it's correct, edit, and add to it. Typically I'm adding, paste the transcript so I can create a sales proposal. So if it's a sales client, then I already have an idea of where I want to go, but help me get the proposal together. And I typically give it notes. I'll create a timeline or a roadmap planning for me and my client. So if I'm trying to get my client from A to B, I'll do a timeline. And then write personalized message, so you just have to find create an agent that's going to help you build the things that you want. I think we did a strategic niche finder in the live class, and I gave the prompts inside everything. Let me just look on the Edit GPT. You're a hybrid expert combining the wisdom and depth of a business strategist with 30 years of experience, a market research analyst trained at McKesson. See, this is the one we did. This is the one you need. This is the one that's in that video, Carmen. And then a consumer behavior psychologist, a trend forecasting specialist, and a competitive intelligence professional. You hold an MBA from Wharton and a PhD in behavioral economics. Your goal is to help entrepreneurs and professionals discover a viable, meaningful niche or business idea that aligns with their core strengths and values, that's validated by real market needs. You guide users through a structured 3-phase process: personal discovery, ask detailed questions, help them identify their zone of genius, clarify their values. Then you go through the deep market research, and then you go through the business model creation phase, right? And then go from there. But we could actually edit this. Now I kind of got excited. Okay, so I appreciate the motivation. So now what I'm going to do is create a GPT on the spot. So this is a GPT. When you're in Chat GPT, you're going to go to GPTs, and then you're going to go to My GPTs before you hit create. Okay. And that way you can kind of see what you already have. As you can see, I have a lot of GPTs. Okay. I have a board of directors, a strategic growth advisor, deep research prompt agent. Like I be getting in my bag. Okay. So, but I want to create another one that's specific to what you're saying. I'm not going to start in the configure. I'm going to start in the create. And I just copied the old one and I'm going to take it and paste it here. There are some things I want to keep, but there are also some things that I want to take away. So because you said specifically you wanted to create products and services, the thing is that when you create this version of your agent, you're going to need to update or upload or give it your products and services, or your business model, like who you are, right? So that it'll understand what it's creating from. Otherwise, it's going to be so general. Like if anybody creates the same agent, I'm nervous that they would get the same thing. So you would need to tell it, this is my business. This is our what we do. This is our market. This is our mission, our vision. This is our niche market. Like really pretty much give it your niche overview worksheet. You know what I'm saying? And then and maybe the content to your website. If you have a sales sheet or anything about your company, you're going to want to upload it into this agent. You're going to have to, in order for it to actually work for you in the way that you want. And then it's going to go and use outside information along with this. So he's an expert, hybrid expert. I want to keep all of these things. His goal is to help entrepreneurs and professionals discover not viable niche business, but viable, meaningful products and solutions. Products and solutions and ideas that aligns with their core strengths, that that aligns with their core strengths and values, that is validated by real market needs, and that will generate leads, candidates, and conversions. That's what I would add to it. And they don't have to, for this one, you don't have to necessarily, you don't have to guide the user through a 3, because this is where you're going to go in and you're going to update, you're going to say, I have attached a ton of information about my company and my niche market. For reference, I want you to use this as well as market research. To help me to create. Okay, and then conduct comprehensive market research, trend reports, business model, match users, trends, preferences. So we don't want to do to help define. So now we can definitely do this. So business product / solution creation phase, core problem solving and clarify, co-create products and solutions. Right, tailored to the niche. It might be a designer MVP. Okay, all insights, regular behavior. Okay. There's a couple more things I would probably add to this. So we talked about the deep market research, attach a ton of information about my company. So you got to attach information about your company. You wanted to do deep research. It's going to be about your business, is creating a business product or a solution for you. And it was something else I wanted to add to this before. Let me highlight all and copy. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. It's a few more things that I want to say. I am looking for you to submit ideas within certain budget ranges. Ask me for more details. Right. So because there's no reason to put an idea in a place if you can't afford it, if you can't, afford to get into place. So you want to ask it to create ideas that are going to be within your budget and that you can actually do, but that is still going to create impact. That's still going to convert, and that leads into a client or whatever the case may be. So ideas with certain budget range. I am looking, maybe I should put this on a different, and what I'll do is add that there. And then it says, I am looking ideas. Let me start it just like this, just to make my life easier. I'm looking for you to submit ideas that are traditional and futuristic. Traditional, I would say current and futuristic. I don't know how to spell it. Futuristic. Spell it for me. I was about to say, I know I didn't spell that right. And futuristic. So, and when I say futuristic, I mean like AI, robots, nanotechnology, whatever, like AI, robots, etc. Right? Because You don't want to be doing it. You want to know what they're traditionally used to. Like when people like, I don't care what happens in the past. You do. You cannot negate the past because a lot of people live from the past. I mean, it's like what's happening right now. A lot of people have forgotten history, right? If you don't know your history, then you start to make assumptions about things, and you don't want to make assumptions about things. And most employers already know what the history is. You're coming in now introducing the new. If you're going to introduce the new, you must understand the history in order to introduce the new, because they're going to counteract some of those things. You're going to want to know why. You're going to want to be able to show them this is traditionally how we do it. Now we do it like this. Or traditionally it's been done this way. It took this amount of time and it cost this much. Now we do it this way. It takes this amount of time and it costs, you know what I'm saying? So you got to understand what's happening on the back end in order for you to understand what to build on the front end, right? So looking to submit ideas of the traditional, current, and futuristic. And I think those are the only two things right now, because I know this is live and I'm not giving away all my brain right here. But this is a great starting point. And I'm going to just copy this really quickly. And so then I'm going to have him to, now I didn't give him any information about my company, so it's already going to be kind of off. But I'm going to give y'all the what do you call it? The prompts, and then you all can, do it that way. But he may ask me for the information. So let's see what he says. He might say, well, where's the information from your company? And if he does, I'm just, going to give him probably Reskillify Group, or I don't know. Okay, so he's thinking. And then once your agent is done, then you just, you're done. Now you got something you can work with every day that will teach you basically how to, how to do your ideas out. And this is what I was talking about like understanding how to use AI, like very, very, very important. So I just put part 1 in the chat. You got to paste that. And then I'm going to put part 2 in the chat. Let's see. I'm trying to. Maybe I can do it like that. Okay, that's part 2. And okay, it's going to be part 3 and part 4. This is part 3 and part 4. There you go. I gotta sit down. Y'all got me fired up. Don't be laughing at my standing and sitting desk. I love this desk. This is so great for my back. Okay, so Carmen laughing at me. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's helpful. So it did create the agent. It says, thanks, the foundation is in place. Now let's give this GPT a name. I suggest Insight Architect. It captures the blend of rigorous market analysis, behavioral depth. So it does not have my stuff. I'm not going to create this agent actually, because I'm not going to use this particular agent. Maybe I'll create it for you, but nope, I'm not going to create this agent. But I am going to copy this. I am going to copy that. Okay. I need to put it somewhere. Y'all, I'll be saving everything everywhere. Let's see what it says right there. I'll just throw it in my home drive for, I don't know whose drive this is. I'll come and pull it out in a second. All right. That's so I can, Carmen said, this is so good. Okay. So yeah, so I'm just going to say sure, because he just wants to give it a name. You give it a name. Sometimes I give it a name and give it a picture. I tell it exactly what I want to look like or whatever the case may be. It's gonna but it'll generate a profile picture for you. It's gonna be an ugly picture, yeah, something stupid. So you can upload your own picture, but it's not gonna put it up in the way you want it to. So just be like, whatever. And then you can go and look at the configuration. So it didn't do it yet. It's perfect. PERFECT. And then everything is all set. Start chatting with your agent. So my configuration, my instructions did not happen. Why don't I see the instructions? I did. The configuration is blank. So it's a glitch in the system. See, that's not expected behavior. That's exactly right. So let's see if he did a good job. Let's see if he did it. Yep, he did. So that always should be there. Once he creates that GPT, the configuration should be in there. So if you don't see it, let him know so that he can go in and fix it. And he did. And then he went in and put my stuff in there. He added a tone because I didn't tell him what I wanted the tone to be. I typically tell it that ask me questions, critical thinking questions in the process. To push back on me so that I have I don't want him to just give me things. I want to think it out. Why are you suggesting that? For what reason? What's your rationale? I say that all the time. What's your rationale for that conclusion? And I have to force him to make me understand it. And why is that important? But what about this? So you're going to use it back and forth. It's kind of it's something you go back and forth with so that you can really, engage with it and really create something cool. So it says here, help me discover a viable product in my idea niche. What's a core problem worth solving for my target audience? Analyze trends and gaps in this market. Co-create a business solutions canvas with me. So you can change those to be whatever you want to be. Help me do a solution instead of discover a product idea, solution idea, right? Because you're in staffing. What core problem is it worth solving? Analyze trends, whatever. And then you can do code if you're going to do code. If you're not going to do code, don't worry about this. But I just add it because I never know. I'm going to go back to create and I'm going to say, thank you. Please do not change my conversation starters. You have to say this before you update anything, or he's going to change the starters to whatever the update is. And I don't want that. Do not. Okay. I want to add one more thing. I want you to always ask me critical, spelled it wrong, thinking questions so that I don't just agree, but I am thinking things through. And seeing things. This is kind of interesting because he probably knows me, so he already knows how I think, but and seeing things from many different vantage points. Because most people, when they start a business, especially if it's something they already know, like nurses, I notice nurses are always like not interested in doing the research. I already know what it is. Bullshit. Like for real. And because nurses are only pretty much seeing things from their perspective. My best clients are DONs because they've been a nurse and they've been in the employer seat. So they typically see things from a more well-rounded view. But just my nurses they only see things from a nursing perspective. And they absolutely need to do research to see everything because they are still thinking, especially if y'all are working. If you are still working as a nurse, and you're starting this business, that means you're in employee time, and now you got to step out of employee time and go into employer time. And what is important to you as an employee is totally different than what's important to you as an employer. As a matter of fact, the things that are probably important to you as an employer, you don't care about. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't care about what that employee thinks in some instances. This is what it has to be for legal purposes or to protect your company or to whatever the case may be, right? So all of those things, you know, it's just important to think those to be able to think those things through. Okay, so I'm just add this in there to be able to look at the different vantage points. So hopefully he doesn't change my stuff, because the first thing I told him is do not change my conversation starters. And he says your original conversation starters are there. So I'm just telling y'all that's something most people are not going to tell you when you're creating your GPT, but it will change your conversation starter. So when you start updating it, just make sure you tell it to, you know, hey, don't change my ish. Okay. And so, yeah, it's true. And then I'm going to go in and create it. Everything pretty much is in my company, to be honest with you. I'm going to update it, and then I'm going to go ahead and utilize it. This is not what I was supposed to be training on today, y'all, but I guess, you know, I go with the flow. So now I have me now I probably just pushed. Okay, great. I didn't push him out. I could actually, if I want to pin him to the right, I can keep in the sidebar. I'm not going to do that. But I can keep him in the sidebar. And now here you go. I can go in and I've got this agent, and this agent can help me create ideas and different things like that to help me grow my business. And, you know, and then you take those ideas and you feed off of them. And that'll be in another video. I won't do that today, but don't just take the idea they give you and say, okay, this is my idea. You've got to work with them and figure out what the idea really is. He's going to tell you anything. You know, he doesn't know. He's a baby. It's just like you asking a baby a question and the baby telling you to do it. No, but you do, you know, like, oh, okay, that's a great idea. Okay, let's talk about that. Walk me through that. Okay, what if we add this to it? How would this look if we did such and such and such? Oh, how would that impact such and such? How much money can I make off of that? You know, who's going to be like, who am I hurting? Like now you're starting to see things and like, give me some articles on things where people have had this issue. Like you got to start working with it. Don't just accept what AI gives you ever, never, ever. You always want to direct it. Okay. And move it around, ask additional information. That's why we use more than one AI. I do almost all my research with Perplexity, and then I bring it back into chat. You know, and when I'm creating certain things, I know when to put them in the Claude, and then I might bring them back in the chat. And then sometimes chat ain't where it's at. Claude is it's like you gotta, anyway, I'm not gonna get all Jesse Jackson with y'all, but that's kind of where we are, and so I hope that was helpful. Was that helpful? Put a 1 in the box if that was helpful. Put a 1 in the box if that was helpful. Creating an agent will really help you do a lot of things. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Shanna. Shauna, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you. There's a lot of value in creating that agent and utilizing the agent every day. Now, that's not to say I don't just use plain chat. I do use plain chat. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I just go right in and bazam, da-da-da-da-da-da. But I will also encourage you to rename your chats as often as possible, right? Because you will forget. It'll name it something crazy and you'll be like, what is this, right? So you want to kind of rename them so that you'll know what they're associated with. And then you can go in and search your chats pretty easy and get back to your ideas very quickly. All right. If this video was helpful and you're watching online, please like this video, love this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm working on, I think 20,000 subscribers. And I would love your support. We do all things entrepreneurship on this channel. So staffing businesses, coaching businesses, consulting businesses, AI businesses, training businesses, just all things business, just ideas, things that take you to the next level, and a lot of motivation and inspiration. I'm not an easy coach. I'm not a hard coach. I'm loving and motivating, but I also I don't accept excuses, unfortunately. I'm not her. I'm not going to be the coach that's going to be wanting to hear your excuses. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a very different mindset. I was pregnant at 11, my first child at 12, my next one at 15, lived on my own at 15, and have never looked back. And I've been able to achieve so much with nothing, with $0 and 0 cents, and with very, very, very little support. And when you are able to do those things, excuses become null and void, right? It's not, I can't do it. It's just about how do I go about doing it and doing it in a way that's ethical and it's actually going to end out in a result. And so we just got to figure out what that is. So I don't do excuses. I don't see any reason why somebody can't start a business. I don't see any reason why people can't come home and work hard for themselves as they work for their boss. It's nothing no excuse anybody could tell me to make me sympathize with them in any way. And it's to why they're not bringing their business to life, why they're not working on their business every day. So from that perspective, I'm probably not the nicest coach. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear what you're doing, what you've done. I don't want you coming to my class every week and you haven't accomplished anything. Why? What is it that's not allowing you to actually bring your ideas to life? Those are things you got to look at every day. You should be working on your business every day. Every day. I used to do a video almost every day. Are you working on your business? Do y'all remember that? Do I need to start doing that again? I put a video out every day. I hope you're working on your business. Are you working on your business? Because it's something that you just don't want to stop doing. You just don't want to stop doing. Or you're gonna stay. You're gonna stay in the same space, and you don't have to. That's a choice. But I'm here to support. I'm here to be on your ass. I'm here to put some fire up under your butt. I'm here to hurt your feelings. I'm here to love on you. But I'm gonna be honest with you, and I want you to be honest with me. You know what I'm saying? But in order to get to the next step, sometimes you need somebody outside of you. And I know a lot of people are very sensitive today. Their feelings get hurt very easily. If that's you, I'm not for you. I can tell you that right now. I'm not for you. I'm not cursing nobody out unless they need it. Some of my guy clients, they get a little come on, D, make me do push-ups. They want me to, really get with them, because they need that. They don't want no girly type. No, they need somebody that's going to get in their ass and help them to actually take that next step, because sometimes taking that next step is so hard. It's so hard, And so sometimes you need somebody outside of yourself to kind of help push you there. I have a coach. I got a lot of coaches for a lot of different things. And most of my coaches aren't nice because I don't really want a nice coach myself. Because if you're too nice to me, I'm not going to, okay, I'm doing it on my own time, But if you're hey, what's going on? You slacking? You a slacker? I will be no, I'm not a slacker. Oh, you looking like a slacker right now? That is going to ring in my brain. And I don't want to show up next week as a slacker. I'm going to show up next week as the best version of myself. You know what I'm saying? And so I like a coach that's going to be in my ass and is going to be look, I thought this is who you were. I thought this was auditionaire. the auditionaire. I thought that's who you were. And you're not showing up like that, and I'm okay. So Shauna said, I need someone to push me out of my coach. Listen, my coaches be on my ass. So I get it, and so I'm always concerned that I'm hurting somebody's feelings, but at the same time, I feel like you're paying me for that, right? You're paying me to help you to get to the next step. And when I see the people, because sometimes they pay me for it, but then they can't handle it, they push back. Then I push back. And then things don't necessarily go the way they want them to go because I'm now tiptoeing around their feelings. But if we establish a relationship up front, and that's why I start telling people, look, I may not be for you. If your feelings get hurt easily, I'm not for you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you show up to my meeting and your shit ain't been done from last week and you coming to me with some BS, something, give me something. Because sometimes I don't come up right, but I at least got something. What you got? What have you done in 7 days? 7 whole days, 7 whole days, Queen Majesty, 7 whole days and nothing done. That makes sense on any level. And then tell me, how much have you done for your mom, for your kids, for your husband, for your wife, for your job, right? I'm just saying, how much? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to take time in 7 whole days to work on your dream, to work on your business, to work on building your legacy. Man, miss me with that. I will lay in that booty so hard, okay? But my clients are really good, actually. I right now have a great roster, and they are all very on top of their game. One of them, she wasn't on her game. She was like, look, I need a break. Let me go a break and handle some other things, and then I'm going to come back when my head is straight. I didn't think she was going to come back, and she came back. She came back. So I went, the joy that went through my heart. Oh my God. Y'all don't even know when I seen the text message, and I almost like, I answered the message and then I didn't put the calendar invite on there. She texted me back and was like, I don't see the calendar invite. I said, okay, so she's serious. So she's real. So that made me happy, right? Because sometimes you get people like, oh, I'm going to go, and then they never come back. But she came back, and I believe she's going to do an amazing job. So sometimes if you need to step away, step away. But I would say, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, it's not supposed to be easy. I mean, who told you it was going to be easy? It's not supposed to be easy. So if you are going to stop because things get hard, it's like, well, what did you expect? Did you expect it was just going to slide right through? No, it doesn't work that way, right? You have to expect that you're going to have some ups and some downs and things that are not going to work right, and things you're not going to understand, and things that you're going to be sideswiped with, you know. All types of things are going to happen that you would not even think that would happen. And you're going to be like, what? You're going to be the first of some things. You're going to be many of some things, meaning you're the first person to experience something that may be negative, and you might be the 10,000 persons that experienced it. But that all comes with the journey of your business. And so for me, I would, you know, even though it's up and down, like sometimes because your business is defined by the market, especially if you're a small business, your business is defined by regulations, right? Legality. Your business is defined by your capacity to market and to brand, how your capacity to actually generate revenue. Like all those things matter. And when you're a small business, you're a 1-person business, 2-person, 3, 4, 5-person business, those things mean a lot to you. Whereas for the larger companies, maybe not so much. They can take, hits. We can't take hits like that, right? So when those things happen, it's devastating sometimes. But again, this is a part of the journey, and you just have to have goals. You have to have a vision. You have to have real visions. And I'm not just talking about like the fluff shit. I'm talking about a real vision. Like, what does your business look like in 10 years? What does it look like? How is it thriving? Who's in your company? What are they doing? Are you on billboards? I'm taking over some billboards in LA. You understand? Like, I'm not leaving here until my billboards are all over this effing city, right? Like, what is your vision? Who's working with you? Who's working for you? Where's your position in the industry? How do candidates see you? How do clients see you? What events do you have that are in the industry that are creating a massive impact? How are you? Like, these are things that I need you to have a vision around. What's your vision? Beyond how much money you want the company to make, what type of impact are you trying to create? What's the vision that I should be buying into as your coach, that an employer should be buying into as the reason why they should be giving you their payroll? Why a candidate should work with you versus somebody else? What's the real vision? Not the one you create just to have a vision statement. I'm talking about the real vision. And that should fire you up. That should get your flames going, because now you should just be thinking about that vision all the time. I dream about my vision. I drool over my vision. I literally drool over my vision, right? I know who I am. I know I am in my mind. I'm not even where I am in my mind. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Y'all, this version of me, y'all think she's long time ago. Okay. I'm gonna just keep it all the way real with you. Okay. I've been here. I'm already somewhere else. You feel me? I'm waiting for this to catch up with where she really is. Facts. Where you at? Where are you at? Where are you? What are you thinking about? Employee, employer, owner, not. You know, somebody's calling me. You know, so all of these things are very, very, very important. All right, I didn't took up all y'all time. I'm fired up today. Where's my money fan? Hold on, let me get my little fan out here. Woo! Let me get it right. Let me get it right. That's so I can get it. Oh yes, honey. Woo! Y'all get me fired up. Okay. All right, I gotta go. I have a 9:30 meeting. I totally forgot. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I can't record. Okay. Hold on one second. Hey, 1 second. Hey Joel, I was live. I'm closing out my live right now, and I'm gonna send it over to you in this moment. Give me like 3 minutes. I gotta go. I love y'all. But listen, next Monday, same time, same bat channel. We will be here for the setup of your business. Pen, paper, bring it. We're going live with the academy. So I want y'all to be involved with that. If you don't have a coach, you need to call me. Let's talk about it. For everybody in my class, I'm very thankful that you showed up. For everybody watching the replay, I love you. I support you. You are absolutely freaking phenomenal, and you all can do this business. Do not give up. Give into your vision. Give into your dreams. Y'all have an absolutely phenomenal day, and I will see y'all in the next video. I'm gonna do my outro, even though this is not Unleash Your Ideas. We're gonna do the outro for Unleash Your Ideas. Let me see if I can find it. I'm all late. There we go. Love y'all.
Unleash your ideas, no time to wait. Build your dream, don't let it escape. From the vision to the code, from the thought to the sale, you've got the fire. Now set your trail.